Greetings, loyal minions, beautiful humans, vigilant vegetables. Welcome to the Sci Show, the #1 YouTube channel for people who enjoy raspberry licorice. If that's you, I appreciate you. Just had a delicious piece of raspberry licorice. A little bit better snack than I would normally have. I'm trying to improve some things on the health front. Speaking of improving health things, we are here to look at the new vegetables. Indigon, straight up. It's looking a bit mushroomy, I imagine. But as always, let's take a look at the portal. You will notice I've got a crap ton of coins down there. I actually don't know where I got those from. I'm presuming maybe last time there was an event, I possibly tried to get a certain hero and maybe got them early, in which case I like kept my coins. I bought a few deals because I didn't realize I had those coins. But anyway, so needless to say, I will be doing some summons at the end of this video. Keep an eye out for that. The appearance rates, we have Legendary Classic 1.2%, Legendary Event Hero 0.3%, Legendary Featured Event Hero 1%. So not a great chance there overall. You know, just as much chance of getting a Legendary Classic as you do getting a Legendary Event Hero. Pretty much the same, and also the same chance of the Hero of the Month. So we also have Elsbeth featured, and you'll notice her power is well below the power of the new ones, being that she is a little older. We have a new 4-star, new 3-star. We've got everything going on. So yeah, Elsbeth, I mean, she's still a really good hero. The Fiends are great. They have had some small adjustments to the Fiends. So we'll go through that as well as part of the review, but let's jump in. We'll go to Indigo. As I said, I'm presuming it's a mushroom. I don't know any other vegetables that would look similar, but is mushroom a vegetable? Do we need to start the fungi discussion? I don't know. Max power preview. We have a monk, so we get the withstand. Really quite useful. There's so many heroes now that rely on ailments, and it's really just annoying trying to keep track of all the enemies, the passives, and then on top of that, their class. So I find withstand really good. You just go to do something and it doesn't land, and you're like, oh crap, that's why. Attack up, Aether Talent, 20% for 6 turns. Not too bad there. Family, we are the Valiant Vegetable family, even though the event is called the Vigilant Vegetables. So for 2 or 3 heroes, Fiends and Mega Fiends summoned by this character get 5 or 10% attack. Fiends and Mega Fiends summoned by this character get 2-3% extra health. Nothing really big there. I mean, the Fiends getting 5% attack was really not much. Yeah. Once it gets the Mega Fiend, it's doing a lot of damage anyway. Passive, Empowered Resist. So the character is immune to ailments that prevent the use of special skills. It's awesome against all those silencers out there. 450 boosted health and 5% mana each time they resist. So it's a great way of just getting some free money. You know, Ceres, Song from Three Kingdoms, and also the recent Christmas hero that has silence as well that can kick in. So the Seedling Summoner is the passive where we have seen some changes. So summons a Seedling Fiend every turn to a random enemy. The Seedling Fiend evolves into a Sprout Fiend after 2 turns. The Sprout Fiend evolves into a Blossom Mega Fiend after 2 turns. The evolution of the Fiends is delayed by 1 turn each time they absorb healing. So that's the big change. I'm going to be really interested to see how that translates into the game. I would think it won't make a huge difference because just based on all the times I've used my Fiends or gone against Fiends, I'd say I've probably only healed once or twice in the battle. And, you know, twice is probably if I've either got a very fast healer or 2 different healers. So the big thing for me, though, that will do, if you see the Fiends on defenses, I think it's going to be a huge thing to start bringing people who attack and do damage. So someone like Beowulf, Aramis, Song, I think as well from War of Three Kingdoms. Basically anyone who's attacking, but also healing. Because even though the heal's not great, it's going to delay those Fiends. So if you've got if you've only got 1 normal healer, the chance of delaying those Fiends is pretty small. Obviously, if you've got a Fiend remover, that's amazing. But if you don't, you might have your 1 healer. You might then be able to stack together 3 heroes that attack and heal back. So that could be a great way to delay those fiends longer and give you more chance. Anyway, that's enough on that. Giving you all the tips. If you see fiends on my defense, please don't use that tactic. Seedling Fiend has 50% attack and 20% health. So they have got a little health boost as well. I think that was 15%. Now it's 20. So the Sprout Fiend is 75% attack, 30% health. And the Blossom Mega Fiend is 250% attack, 60% health. I'm just going to check that that is exactly the same on, yep. So same now on Elsbeth. Back to Indigo. So that's all the amazing passives. Really, these passives of these fiends can win games by themselves if you're going against the right teams. The overall power, 1278, so creeping along. Pretty high attack and nice enough everywhere else, so not too bad. We have Brand of Reckoning. 300% damage to all enemies at average speed. So keeping in mind, this is on top of the fiends, and the fiends are what really make the difference anyway. Like, as I said, you can win a battle just with those fiends. 300% damage to... Okay. 300% damage to all enemies. Deals additional 5% damage for each fiend or mega fiend owned by the enemies, up to 350% damage in total. So that's really nice. That's where if you pair a couple of them together, they're just throwing out fiends every time. So Bartholomew, the red veggie, has the similar thing where he does extra damage against the fiends. So it's just nice. And in this case, it doesn't matter where the fiends are because you're hitting all. So, you know, if you're sprouting out one fiend per turn and you take 6 turns to get your special skill charged, on top of that, a couple of those fiends have evolved, you're basically going to be getting that 350% damage. So that's going to happen most of the time. You're going to be at least above sort of 330. So that's really nice damage. Stack max of 10. All damage, all enemies received is increased by 6%. So that's amazing because that's also then applied to the fiends that are damaging. So, you know, if you get 2 or 3 fiends or even a mega fiend, the mega fiend's probably doing 500 damage per turn. Now that's increased. Stack max 10, all allies get 4% mana generation, so that is also amazing. 4% is probably not going to make a huge difference, depending on what troops you have, depending on if you have a bard in the team, depending on the class and whether you've taken mana nodes on the emblems, that may get you down to requiring 8 tiles, or if it's a fast hero, so that can be really useful depending on which other heroes you pair it with. It's not something where you're going to pair it with a slow hero and it's really going to speed them up because you still need to get your average hero charged. So it's only helping on that second charge. But if you pair it with a slow hero, it will just make the last part of it a little bit quicker. But yeah, neither here nor there. So it's nice, but I don't think it's a key part of the skill. Would make it great in certain events, like if we're thinking of the treasure quest or something like that, where you're just speeding that mana generation up if you can fire 4 or 5 times throughout the battle. So I think Indigon is quite amazing. I'm just going to check his damage against a Ustad as an example. Wow, we've got to get rid of all these bloody deals. Ustad Anan does 335 to all. Now, he does get the extra 800, but you're thinking he's basically... He also does hit a bit harder because of the growth, but it's not going to be much less than that. So you're probably looking at 1,000, I would say, per hit, depending on everything else that's going on. But that's a nice hit on top of dropping all those fiends. So that makes him easily the biggest fiend damager. Let me see if... So Bartholomew is average and does 300 to 3. So he does a little bit of extra damage for the mega fiends. So he's can go up to 450 for the fiends or mega fiends. And he does do some other stuff, but when you're talking pure damage, Indigo is just huge. Like that's great to all enemies. Plus the stacks, that is just an amazing hero. Going to be useful anywhere. Plug it into any team. You can put it in as a solo color because the fiends are just going to do their thing. Take it against anyone that doesn't have a fiend remover or small healers, and you're looking at almost an instant win just from the fiends. So absolutely amazing hero. Yep. Would love to grab him. Looks kind of cool with his little porn star mustachio there. You know, I'm sure... No, I've come to clean the pool. Anyway, that was a really bored attempt at anything. All right, Indigon, that's all I need to say about him, I think. Fantastic. We also have, what are we looking at? A piece of broccoli Broseph. Very cool name. We won't go through everything. Class is Druid, so we get the minion. So that's handy. I like that minion. It's just like a meat shield, so it's like a little heal for yourself. Ailment immunity is fantastic for 6 turns. Some of these, I feel, Aether talents are getting more and more important as more and more heroes come out with, really cool skills like ailments and stuff. So just means you have to hang off sometimes on hitting. So yeah, he's looking pretty tough for a piece of broccoli. Don't mind a bit of broccoli. Yeah, anyway. Same family bonus, all that's the same passive of resisting silence and things that block your special. Same fiend happening here. So it's all the same. Power is the same. A little bit lower in the health. No, hang on. Slightly lower on the attack. But lots nicer defense and pretty good health there as well. Special skills, superfood, purification. We'll just click out of that scene. He's gone a bit dark. Running at fast speed recovers 50% health for the caster and nearby allies. Uproots debuffs from the caster and nearby allies. Safely removes 2 status ailments, negative stacks, or wither effects from each target. So that instantly makes it a great counter against Images, who we see a lot, because it just means you can remove that wither. This includes uncleansable status ailments and dance effects. The caster receives 7% boosted health for each effect removed. So that's a nice little bonus. Boosted health, safe cleanse bypasses secondary effects. We know that wither effects are removed first. Other effects, the latest is removed first. So that's great because it's priority removing that wither. Now, it is only for the caster and nearby, and the health is only for the caster and nearby. Now, I generally am not a fan of heal 3 heroes, but it's a case where you may be taking this as a second healer, because not only is it healing, but it's putting the fiends on. So it's a huge attacking hero, but you're also then... So it kind of fills your support slot, but it's healing fantastically. So 50% is a great heal. You've also got growth. All allies get 125 attack and 125 defense. So if you don't have growth in green or growth at all, that's also great for Titans. So Broseph is... And he's running at fast speed. I say he... I don't know. How do we sex a piece of broccoli? Anyone out there that can leave a comment, and I know I can Google it myself, but tell me if broccoli has different sexes, and if so, how do you determine whether a broccoli is a... Anyway, my mind is getting totally distracted now with broccoli porn. It's definitely not needed. So yeah, I actually think Broseph is really good as well, even though it is only a heal 3, and that is a little bit of a turn-off. I often use 2 healers in a lot of my teams. But I also feel that, as I said, it's not only a healer. So you could put a couple of people who protect themselves or heal themselves. So you might have some hitters who regenerate their own health, or someone like, that may have a taunt that has really good defensive properties that may not need as much healing or looking after. And you could pop Broseph there just to keep the 3 heroes alive, give you all growth. It's getting rid of the wither, so against Images, at least means you've got 2 people beside you that aren't going to have all that wither on them. And yeah, that's I actually think that's really great hero as well. And purely because the fiends are just so amazing, I think this works great, even though it's only healing 3. I'd possibly say I'd prefer Indigon a little bit better, but Broseph would definitely be a great pickup as well. Now, let's jump in and also look at the 3-star and 4-star. Just a very quick look. So they have the fiends as well, but they have less health. So 10%, 20%, 45%. And the attack's less as well. But they still do the same. They're going to be nightmares in the tournaments especially. And they're not going to be usable in the events because the fiends will take too long. But they may have a good skill as well. So we'll just check this dude out. Average speed, 415% damage to the target. Harvest buffs from the target, which is the same as Bartholomew, and stack max 10 the caster gets 6% mana generation. So he's pretty much only doing it for himself. I do love me a good pineapple, as a lot of people would know. I don't know why his hands are on fire. That seems weird. Tangy torture. I don't know, he's torturing people with his hands. That just sounds extra weird. But yeah, going to be great in tournaments, 4-star tournaments. As I said, I wouldn't think it's going to make its way into events or anything like that, but 4-star tournaments are fantastic. And we will also have a look at who have we got? Caleb, the new 3-star. I don't even know what that is. Cabbage. Oh, it's a purple cabbage, of course. And it has a nice little leaf covering up his cabbage bits. Fighter, which is really great. So the passives, we're going to look at the difference again in the... Sorry, I'll just double check. Yeah, so that the actual passive for the special skill blocking is the same. He's still getting 450 health, which is quite big. In regards to the Fiends, we're getting 5% health, 20% attack, 30% attack, 10% health, and 150% attack, 25% health. That is still quite considerable. Going to be a bloody annoying in a tournaments as well. Average speed, Cabbage Barrage. Deals 320% to the target. Deals additional 5% damage for each Fiend or Mega Fiend owned by the enemies. Up to 370% damage in total. And the target gets minus 25% attack for 4 turns. So pretty uninspiring from the skill side of things. It's just a single hitter. But again, in any of these tournaments, these Fiends are just going to wreak havoc. We'll definitely bring some older healers into things that can remove Fiends. There are a few out there in 4 stars. I'm not sure about 3 stars. But yeah, there we have it. Some fantastic heroes. At least we've got a new 3 and 4 star. So I hope everyone's getting those. I hope you can use them and it really helps build your roster. Now let's jump in and get some summons. I'll probably throw some music over the top of this. But if I get something exciting, I'll probably jump back in with some excited comments. I'll probably wake my cat up. She'll scream at me. Anyway, let's jump in and see what we get.
The lighthouse of the lost is a haven for the souls who feel broken, but it is not an escape. It is not a place to be fixed, merely a breath where haunted souls find ease, where we realize we do not need to be saved, only seen. I don't wanna lead with burden, but it's all I've ever known. I once believed my black hole heart was all I'd get to show. I wore it like a shield while it swallowed all my hope. Mistook control for courage, gave me apathy to cope. It almost kept me safe, but it echoed all you are. It locked me in my past and created broken art. I looked inside your world, but it feared the love unknown. The lines were blurred and twisted. It never felt like home. The mirrors lied, the mask betrayed, and all the colors bled 3 shades. Always scared to take the stage, too afraid to bear my pain. We dance in twilight, draped in shame, and lose ourselves inside the game. Every scar a role we play in this parade of blades. I clung to every promise, but you spoke in whispered crimes. So I vanished in my anger and let darkness blur my mind. We judged without admitting, assumed the just the lie we learn to breathe to make the pain obey. We damn ourselves, fake our scars, hate what we became. We paint ourselves unbreakable and shower off the stain. Each truth I faced alone became the strength I once defied. It lives inside the torment of the tears I never cried. The mirror screamed, the masks obeyed. Truth becomes a lie when soaked in blame. But maybe now I take the stage. I'll proudly offer up my pain. We dance together, share the shame, start unveiling the game. Every scar a role we play in this parade of blades. Maybe it's a love song laced with broken sound, buried in the memories where emotions learn to drown. Somehow through the wreckage we uncover who we are. 'Cause who wants to be perfect when perfection is a scar? We spin the blade of cold conviction. Numbness makes us bold. The truth is just the borderline where trust confines our soul. The cracks I fought to hide now light the path I claim. The shadows I escaped no longer call my name. We craft our masks to face the world, then struggle beneath their weight. When porcelain cracks, cold embers burn until our fractured souls awake. And now I see I own the stage. No need to hide behind the pain. No need to burn a borrowed flame.
Ay, ay, ay. After one of the most uninspiring lengths of summons I've ever seen, that was a lot. I get the one that I've already got. That's fantastic.
Rewrite truths to fit the shame. I've embraced the part I play in this parade of blades. We no longer fight the darkness, for we've outgrown its hold. We never had to mend, for we were never broken. Without our cracks, we lose the beacon to guide. Today we wear the dark.
Wow, what a horrendous temple as well. The funny thing is, that seems like a really bad set of pulls, but I've actually beaten the odds basically. So again, this just to confirm the way these summons work. I had a 1.3% chance of getting the Hero of the Month. So that's technically 1.3 for every 100. So I did around 55. So, you know, I beat the odds there. I also got a event featured hero, which is 1 out of 100. I managed to get one in 50 as well. So it may have seemed really bad, but again, this is what you need to expect from the summoning portals. As always, if you do enjoy what I'm doing, remember to gently press the subscribe button, give your kitty a scritch for me, eat your bloody vegetables, and have a bloody good one.